Hello there. If you're a green thumber, you'll be glad you stayed around for more Explore Tulsa.
Stevie, you don't have to have a green thumb to appreciate the natural beauty of the outdoors, and the folks at the Botanical Gardens are making sure that generations of Tulsans can continue to do so.
This is a project that's been dreamed of since 1999, and we're making it come forward now. We have about 170 acres of land in the Cross Timbers or Osage Hills part of Tulsa, about 8 miles northwest of downtown, and it's just lovely here, and we're starting to see some fruits from our labors over the last several years. In terms of how I came to be here, my background is in horticulture. I was born and bred in Louisiana with horticulture in my blood. My grandparents were sugarcane farmers, and so early on in my life I decided to go professionally into horticulture, and eventually kind of then secking into public gardens is the general term. And I've worked in North Carolina and Georgia and been around the world studying these for 15 plus years now. And so when the folks here in Tulsa knew that they needed someone to continue forward with the work they had done, they found me in North Carolina, and I'm thrilled to be here. Tulsa's a wonderful community. The idea for the garden came about from 4 founders who really got together and kind of said, why doesn't Tulsa have a botanical garden? Tulsa has rich universities, we have fine gardens that grew out of old estates such as the Philbrook and the Gilcrease, and we have a wonderful library system. We would have an aquarium down in Jenks and the zoo, of course, and they said, well, we kind of have this missing piece. And so they kind of knocked heads and came up with a plan and formed a 501c3 nonprofit, and really just started meeting and talking and getting people on board. A botanical garden is a place where you have scientific and educational pursuits related to plants. And they can be set within the context of fabulously beautiful gardens, or sometimes they can just be laid out in plant collections, or both. And that's what we're developing here. So we're going to have research components, we're going to have educational work. In fact, we're already doing some. And what our plans are is to develop ultimately 60 acres of gardens and facilities on our 170-acre property. And this is going to be everything from themed gardens like an Asian garden to tropical conservatories, but also all the way to visitor center and a chapel and a teaching barn where we can have programs for adults and children and families and whatever you can think of, and that it'll really become a cultural resource for the whole area. The plants that we have are many-fold. We have a wonderful palette of native plants. We have over 350 species of plants native on our site. But we're also looking at garden plants too, so we kind of have a mix of native and garden plants. And one of the gardens that we're going to develop in the future is called the Edible Garden. It's on our master plan, and that's going to be wonderful with fruits and vegetables and herbs and you name it. And we're looking forward to collaborating with high schools or any other programs, food kitchens, of course, and actually teaching people, especially youth, about how you prepare food fresh from the garden, how you can grow your own food. So it's going to be really a rich tableau. Everyone's really excited. They know that this is the early stages of something great, and so we all multitask, and it's everything from membership, people who are supporting us with our membership program, to actually getting plants in the ground. This is the first stages of something that will become much bigger one day, but for now, that's what we're doing. There is so much community pride in Tulsa. It's just palpable, more than anywhere else I've ever lived. And we want to tap into that energy. We already are, but we want to tap into it more fully. And that, combined with the fact that here we are at these kind of botanical crossroads between the eastern forests and the prairies of the Midwest and the West, I think just allows us such an opportunity to have so much fun with plants and teach people about the unique part of the world that we're in. And yes, it's a rough and tumble climate, but that's okay. We're going to have fun. If we kill a few plants on the way, that's okay too. We'll learn. And I just think we're going to incorporate it and make it part of the fabric of Tulsa, and that could be from bringing in a little Art Deco out here all the way to kind of picking up on some Route 66-isms, which are so fun. Could work with our children's garden, for instance. So really make this that it's a part of Tulsa, This is not just a garden that got plopped onto the site. That could be anywhere in the United States. We want it to feel and be Tulsa and Oklahoma.